Alright, we live, y'all. One, just take a second just to let things get started, just to freshen up the page so I can see comments if we do get anybody in here. If not, that's fine. Just making this video like this because I'm pretty much ready to go to sleep for the night, not gonna lie. It's pretty late right now, so I'm ready to get out of here. Almost 12. But yeah, anyway, getting right into this without any delay. Sony just finished their E3 press conference not too long ago, and it was a pretty good conference, but there is some controversy about it, so we're just gonna talk about all of this really quickly before we actually go into why the conference has so much controversy around it, in terms of people saying it was disappointing, people saying it was lame. You got a bunch of crazy stuff going on right now, a bunch of different opinions about it. So we're going to talk about all that in the last half of the video, but in this first half, and just for anybody wondering, this isn't going to be too long of a video, but or too long of a live stream, since that's what I'm doing here. But in this first half, we're going to talk just about the games they sold and stuff like that. So let's take a look at all the stuff they sold that I actually care about. And I'll even mention some of the stuff that does seem worthwhile. A lot of people are talking about how they sold the new Monster Hunter. They opened the conference up with Horizon Zero Dawn DLC, which looked cool, but when you look at it, we really don't know what to expect from it. It looks like it's just going to be a couple of add-on missions, in a different setting with a few new story missions and stuff like that. So that's cool if you like Horizon Zero Dawn. I might check out. I'm not making any promises on that one though, but yeah, other than that, we saw what's it called? Freak, Days Gone. I forgot the name of that for a second. I almost called it Road Gone for some reason. It makes me think of that movie and the book The Road. So yeah, we saw some Days Gone gameplay, and it looked good. Like, Days Gone looked super good. It looked really good last year. This year's performance looked even better. Like, I'm liking Days Gone. And huge, they revealed so much in this gameplay trailer. I'm going to talk about all of it separately, but the biggest thing was at the end with the undead bear. So we're going to have animals who can get infected in this campaign too, which is something we don't see almost ever when it comes to these like zombie type games. So that was interesting that they're doing that. But yeah, after Days Gone, let's see, I already talked about Monster Hunter. It looked decent. It looked like an interesting game. We also got what a lot of people are really hyped for and that nobody really saw coming out of nowhere. Like, we got Shadow of the Colossus remake, so that's going to be pretty cool for a lot of people. A lot of people are excited about that, I hear. We also got, this is the part of the conference that a lot of people hated, which was all of the I'm sorry, I'm saying a lot, but all of the VR games. I keep forgetting how to say some of this stuff. I just don't care about VR, so I really I really don't. Like, they had a bunch of VR games there, and that pretty much took up, like, I don't want to say half of the conference, but it took up a good chunk of the conference. Then after that, we saw Detroit, which, in my opinion, like, I hear some people saying the jury's out on it. To me, Detroit just doesn't look good. I'm going to just say that right out. Like, it just doesn't look like it's going to be a fun game, in my opinion. Sure, the story might be interesting, it might be good and all that. Quantum Dreams usually does a good job with that kind of stuff. Is that who's making this? I want to say that's who's making, but I don't know really. I really don't care about the game. It doesn't look good to me. Not interested. Moving on from that, we did see some God of War gameplay. We got it was a trailer, but it was a really long trailer with a lot of gameplay, and it was pretty good. It was a good gameplay demonstration. I don't know why, but a lot of people are not liking the fact that you gotta carry the kid around with you through this journey. Which I don't really see the problem with that if that's going to add a emotional level to Kratos' journey. If that's going to add, emotion to the story, which I'm sure the story had before, and just for clearancy here, I didn't play any of the past Gods of War. Well, no, that's a lie. I did play I think I played two of them, but one of them I played it so long ago when I was so young that I don't remember it at all. And then I played Ascension a little bit, but I don't really know anything about God of War besides the few times I remember playing it in the past. So yeah, but if the kid adds like a big emotional level to the story and just adds to the story, I don't see any problem with having them. I mean, they're obviously a lot of games are obviously trying to, really piggyback off of what The Last of Us did so well with, surrounding an entire game around two characters and their relationship being built over the course of the game. It seems like we have a lot of games kind of piggybacking off of that. Even that what's that one game called, the split screen one that we're getting from EA? That looks like it's doing it a little bit too, but I'm okay with it. The formula obviously was proved to work good, so I think if it worked in The Last of Us, it can work in God of War. I don't see any problem with the kid being around. But yeah, and a lot of people are also worried that at the last E3 when we saw God of War, it didn't look brutal enough. I heard a lot of people saying that it doesn't look as brutal as God of War usually does. This trailer definitely showed off some more brutal moments and stuff, so that was cool. Oh snap! I was actually getting ready to forget two games here: Call of Duty and Destiny, which are probably some of the games people brush off the most. But I think they're actually really some of the only games coming out this year that we saw at the conference. So technically they should have been like a bigger focus. I felt like here they probably should have put a little more into these games. I would like to see like a Call of Duty gameplay walkthrough from the campaign. I wouldn't have mind seeing well no, the trailer for Destiny was alright. They didn't need to show too much for that. And they sold plenty with Destiny. Like lots of interesting stuff there to talk about with that trailer, which I might do on the channel. I'm sure all the big Destiny YouTubers are doing by now. But yeah, Call of Duty, the trailer looked amazing. It looked really good. The gameplay definitely looks different. And like I said, this Call of Duty, I'm not trying to jinx it, but this one is most likely automatically going to be better than most of the Call of Duties we gotten recently because it's going back to World War II where there was less stuff. So I feel like there's just going to be overall less BS they can actually put in the game. And, as long as they don't try to mess it up, it's going to be pretty hard for them to mess up a World War II Call of Duty game. Like the World War II Call of Duty games, when those were popular, in my opinion, way better than all the Call of Duties we've gotten in the past few years. Way better, miles better. So yeah. With that being said, the only other thing they really sold was Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was amazing. We finally got to see gameplay and stuff. It looks really good. Alright, that's all I gotta say. I'm definitely getting that Spider-Man. I remember when I was a kid, Spider-Man 2 was one of my favorite games. Like, I remember playing that thing so much. I replayed it a couple times and everything. Spider-Man 2 was definitely, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man game to release. Definitely the best one I played out of all the different ones I picked up when I was younger. So, yeah, overall, that game just looks really good. It looks like what people want. I already hear some people saying they wonder what kind of big villains that are iconic, like Spider-Man, are we going to see in this game? Because you didn't see any of those in the actual gameplay reveal, which I was like, it's the first time they're showing gameplay. Cut them a little slack on that. They probably don't want to give away too much. We probably still have a good wait ahead of us. I'm guessing that's going to be holiday next year because they didn't give a specific date for it. They had said 2018. And Days Gone didn't get a date either, but I'm going to say for Days Gone, either extremely late next year or very early 2019. And last but not least, the big one everybody's talking about, no Last of Us 2 gameplay. They didn't show Last of Us 2. I'm going to have a bigger video about this come out tomorrow. This is going to be the first thing I talk about after all this E3 stuff. Why they didn't show it and what we can expect, when we can expect to see it. Obviously, you can expect to see it at the what's it called, PlayStation Experience conference thing. That's most likely where they're going to show it. Isn't that? Did they show Last of Us 2 at E3 last year or at PlayStation Experience? I think it was at E3. I could be wrong there, but no, it was at Experience, wasn't it? I can't remember. But PlayStation Experience, like PlayStation has already said in the past, they're going to start taking a lot of focus of their focus anyway away from E3 and putting it into PlayStation Experience, because that's their show. They have a lot more room to show their stuff off there to their fans specifically. So that makes sense. I'm okay with that. A lot of people. Oh, but wait, before I go into that, a couple other things. People are really wanting to see what what are they called? San Diego Studios? Yeah, I think I might have got that wrong. Sorry, I forgot the name. But the people who worked on Infamous Second Son and all the Infamous games, people are wondering what on earth they're working on. They've been working on a new game for 3 years since Infamous Second Son released, and we haven't seen anything about it yet except for some concept art. So people are wondering about that. We're probably going to see that PlayStation Experience too if they decide to show it off anytime soon. And yeah, that's really it. There also Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't really know why anybody expected to see that this E3. Rockstar isn't releasing that game until they feel it's worthy. So that's just up in the air. Like, that thing could, the way I see it, that junk could get delayed all the way back to 2020. Like, I'm not even doubting it. Like, the way they're going, I mean, I don't want to say that because they definitely could. I'm shooting for a 2019 release date for that thing. I definitely don't think it's going to be next year. They could pull next year off, but I think it's going to be 2019. If they announce Red Dead Redemption, if they give us the first trailer and gameplay and everything at next year's E3, and then have that come out next year too, that would be a pretty awesome surprise. But I'm thinking 2019. If not there, they might get pretty close to 2020. So just saying that for all the Red Dead fans. But anyway, talking about the actual controversy with this conference, a lot of people are saying they're disappointed and stuff, and why are they disappointed? The way I'm seeing it, it sounds like most people are disappointed because they didn't show Last of Us 2. I mean, people are going to try to come up with other excuses like, oh, but everything we saw. I hear a lot of people saying this. Everything we saw this year at E3 was at last year's conference, which is, yes, that's true. But to be honest, do we really need to see anything else? I mean, they have a strong lineup of games. They don't need anything new right now, in my opinion. So that's kind of a weird argument against the conference. I feel like that was to be expected in a way. That's kind of what I expected. So I don't really see what people were expecting them to come out with and surprise us with super new stuff when they already have so many of their studios working on some new games that were announced last year. So I don't see why people expected Sony to come out with like a huge lineup of new IPs or just stuff we haven't heard of yet. And like we've already established, they are working on some stuff in the background. Of course, there's some stuff they didn't show off that we haven't even seen before. So yeah, just look forward to it. They'll announce it eventually and stuff. So there's all that. But Overall, I think the raids about Sony's conference was Last of Us 2, them not showing it, and I did want to see Last of Us 2. I see why so many people are upset that they didn't get to see it. I definitely would love to see it. The Last of Us and Witcher 3 are my two favorite games of all time, hands down. Um, Probably The Witcher 3 a little bit more, but I still really love The Last of Us. It's like really neck and neck for me. So, um, yeah, like I would love to see it, but honestly, when you think about it, they really didn't need to show it. Like PlayStation Experience is probably going to be a better place to show it anyway, because like I said already, that's for all the PlayStation fans. All the PlayStation fans really want to see Last of Us 2, and plus, think about it. Last of Us 2, a lot of people are saying it's going to release next year. Considering, if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure they just started working on the game last year. So with that being said, I don't think Last of Us 2, and brace yourself for this. I do not think Last of Us 2 is coming out until 2019. That's my predictions. I'm thinking mid or early 2019 for Last of Us 2. Anybody who's super hyped about it. I don't think we're going to see it before then. That's just my prediction. Simply because the first one took 4 years to make. I'm guessing this one's going to take 4 years to make too, or at least somewhere around that time frame. If they get it out by the end of next year, they would have had to been working away on it pretty hard. But you know, they do have the formulas and all that from the first game already set up, so they already kind of know. I guess the process would be a little shorter because you know they already have the basic idea of what they're doing from the first one. But yeah, a lot of people are excited about that. So that's just my prediction on when that's coming out. But you know, would love to see it. And what's up, Fuzz? I'm just gonna call you Fuzz. I'm not saying all those numbers, bro. But yeah, that's my prediction. But if I had to give Sony's E3 press conference a actual grade, I would say it's like a 8, 8.5. If you really, really didn't mind, you know, the fact that it was all games we've seen before, if you really didn't have too much of a problem with the big VR showcase in the middle of it, then I can see somebody giving this a 9, but I think a 8 or 8.5 is like way more where this conference lays, because it wasn't like super spectacular. Like there weren't too many things that surprised us. Like there wasn't an Anthem at this show. An Anthem the other day was really great. Like that reveal, it was a super awesome reveal for a new game. But yeah, there wasn't anything like that. It would have been great to see Last of Us 2 or something. Have you saw the Crew 2 trailer? Definitely getting. I have not seen Crew 2. I actually did miss Ubisoft's conference. I'm going to watch that tonight, and I'm going to talk about that in the morning. So anything Ubisoft sold, you're going to get a video for that in the morning. But I hear a lot of people saying Crew 2 looked amazing. I'm usually not in the racing games unless you know they have something super unique going on with them. But I don't know. I can see myself getting the Crew, to be honest. Like if it has something unique about it, like I need it to be like that new Need for Speed where it's almost like a racing game mixed with an action game. And yeah, Fluffy Panda, I remember you. Hey, thanks for the support. But yeah, and just so you guys know, I remember all of you. If we talk in a live stream, I'll remember you unless like you change like your profile picture to something crazy or your name to something crazy. I remember all my subscribers when we talk in live stream. So but yeah, overall this E3, like I hear a lot of people saying it was kind of underwhelming. I wouldn't say it was underwhelming unless you just got your hopes that high up. Like I mean, you had to be really overhyped to find it underwhelming. 'Cause I feel like we did get to see a lot of awesome games, a lot of new stuff. I feel like it was entertaining for the most part. But overall, we definitely did get a lot of cool games coming out. Oh my god, I can't believe Bethesda has Wolfenstein and Evil Within 2 coming out in right this year. So I'm gonna have to make a holiday game list, bro. Like you guys are leaving like a ton of comments. So yeah, I gave the overall conference an 8 or 8.5. I'm gonna go with 8.5. I'm gonna give them some slack because it was good. But yeah, I'm just gonna hang out here for a second and chat with you guys. But that's my overall opinion on the actual E3 conference. So yeah, I mean it definitely was a good E3 in my opinion. Yeah, I know a lot of people are super hyped about the crew, but like really I don't do racing games. I'm not gonna lie. I usually don't do racing games. Mostly because I'm bad at them. I wanna say I'm bad at racing games, but even then I don't really ever stick to a racing game long enough to be good at it. Like the last time I was good at racing in a game was in Watch Dogs. Like I mean that just shows you my history with racing right there. But yeah, like I know Crew was a lot of people said the first Crew was awful though. I know that. A lot of people did not like the first one, man. But like I said, I've never been too big into racing games myself, so I didn't play it, so I can't really say whether that's true or not. Boruto? I don't even know what Boruto is, Fluffy Panda. Like I really don't. But yeah, like dude, Fuzz, you're so hyped for the crew. Like god dang. But yeah, overall, like I'm super hyped for a lot of games coming out. When I think of the lineup of games that I'm getting after this year, well, this year and beyond from what we've seen, I'm thinking of definitely Last of Us 2. I definitely want to try that new Wolfenstein. I'm thinking about Evil Within. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about Evil Within 2, but we'll have to see on that one. I'm getting a new Call of Duty. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up getting that just to get it and try it because I love World War II Call of Duties. And I'm probably most likely going to try Destiny 2 because it does look better than the first one. So I'm going to try it and see if they get their act together. But if not, I am going to crucify that game. If that game tries to pull the same BS the first one did, with cheating us with content and stuff, oh my god, I will give that game no mercy. I will state it right off the bat day one. So hopefully they don't do that. Oh yeah, and then there is Far Cry 5, but why didn't they call Far Cry 5 not Far Cry 6? Yeah, yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, but a lot of people don't count Primal, and Primal is technically a spinoff. It's like when you have certain movies, like they have a spinoff movie and stuff. So yeah, but anyway, guys, that's really it for this video. Like E3 looked really good. There's going to be so many videos up tomorrow, guys. Like I'm going to try to wake up super early to get the Ubisoft review out for you in the morning. I'm going to have that video about The Last of Us 2 later in the day, and I'm gonna try to get a lot of videos out for you. I still need to get back on this Fallout 4 live stream, so there's that. But overall, yeah, like it looked great. It was great to me. Like E3 was fun. Once again, I will say probably am glad I didn't go myself and spend all that money just to sit there and be disappointed. But overall, E3 was pretty fun. Yeah, yeah, It's just a yeah, yeah, fear. Oh my God, so many people are really hating on Fear the Walking Dead. That's actually funny because I'm actually currently working on a Fear the Walking Dead video right now. I actually was working on it just before Sony's press conference came on. So if you're in the Fear the Walking Dead or you want to hear about what's going on with that, I'm going to give my opinions on Fear the Walking Dead tomorrow too. That's going to be a video that comes out. But yeah. But anyway, there's gonna be a ton of videos the rest of this week, to be honest with you. So just keep your eyes on the channel. With that being said, I'm super sleepy. I'm getting ready to hit the hay, guys, because you know it's been a long day. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave likes and comments down below. You know how much they help me. You know how much that subscribe button really helps me out. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you guys on the next one.